It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Good morning, everybody. It is, I put March 2025. Sorry, it's April 10th, 2025. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosa, and welcome to the Victoria Real Estate Show. And I'm here with...
Oh, hey, everybody. Andrew Plank here with LePage and the Vibe Real Estate Group. And these are the things that happen when we are busy and podcasting is not our primary business.
Yeah.
So... Anyway, here we are. I'm doing okay. Yeah.
What's
Feeling
going
a little
on?
under the weather. Just a little
really?
under the weather today. Yeah. But I'm okay. I'm going to make it through this show. I'm here for you. I'm here for the people of Victoria.
Okay, Jen is on travel. So she sent us a little video. She's going to give us an update on what's going on with her market. And let's get started.
Yeah.
So we're going to do last month. Oh, my God. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
So this week we had 415 properties get listed on the Victoria MLS in the sort of the Victoria areas. 148 properties went pending and 159 price decreases, and 31 properties expired. Compared to the weeks before, or the week before, that is last week, we're obviously up on new listings as we're moving into spring. Little down on pendings, and that could be, there's a lot of different factors affecting this right now. The wind is some elements of wind have been taken out of the sales, definitely potentially due to uncertainty with what's going on in the south. So less properties going pending, more properties price increasing. Not good news for the direction things are going, but we're still seeing lots of activity on the marketplace with people buying and selling, but it's not going in the right direction. That's my take. What would you say to that, Jane?
I don't think we're significantly different, like 148 to 156 in pending. These are all happening 2 weeks ago, right? So
Yeah.
The sales happening and the reporting is happening now.
I think that one thing I would want to see, though, is the pendings going up week over week as we move into spring rather than down. So even though statistically these are very close, there's not really a big difference. I would have normally expected to see the pending numbers higher than the week before as we go through week after week in this spring market.
The price decreases seem high to me.
Yeah, that's another one.
If you look at it, the price decreases are similar to what the pendings are. So I guess people are saying, like, if your house isn't selling, you need to decrease your price.
Yeah. I'm also seeing, I've been getting phone calls on my listings lately, and this is, haven't seen this for a while, where I'm now getting calls from agents saying, we see your asking price, and we've got some buyers, but they're not willing to pay that asking price, and they're willing to pay a price significantly less. So is it even worth us talking about this? And you get that conversation every once in a while in certain markets, and you get that on in any market at times. But it's interesting to me that I've had a few of those calls.
Have they seen the house?
One has, one hadn't, and it's more, it's just, I think, an indication in some cases, in some areas, like this is a great property. We don't want to. It's worth what it's worth at the end of the day when it sells. I certainly don't want to stand in the way of an offer, but it was just interesting to me that those phone calls seem to be coming my way anyway. And maybe it's just a matter of that particular property, but
I look like I'm frozen on your screen.
yes, you do.
Okay. I'm not sure
Why don't you
why.
take yourself up? Well, it's going to remove you and add you back to stage and see if that makes a difference. And now it looks like your camera is just not even working.
Can you
Do
hear
want to
me?
reset it? Oh yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay. Well, let's just go with the next one, and then I'll remove myself and come back in.
Yeah, so Jane's going to try to maybe reset her camera and so forth. So we have, here we are, April 2025. And what we do here is an update that happens as we track what's been happening so far in the month. So this is updated every Monday, so these stats are a bit lagging. But as of last Monday, net unconditional sales so far for the month of April were 116. You can compare that to the full month of April last year at 679. So here we are, already at the 10th, a third of the way into the month. And we are definitely low if we were to track that out to consider what we are for unconditional sales versus last year. New listings, 344. Again, so that was not quite 10 days in the market. We are 10 days now, but we've got to take this back a few days. So about a week into the marketplace. So we're still low, I would say, but not as bad as I just indicated. Sorry, guys. Total new listings, 3,103 currently. And last year at the end of the month, we were at 3,017. Any comments on these ones, Jane?
I think people can expect the numbers to increase. Usually we peak in May, so we're going to see more total active listings increase over the next few weeks. 344, that's a good number for 10 days on the market. I think statistically lower than last year, but net unconditional sales seem low as well. But we are heading into Easter. There will be people coming for the weekend in a week and a bit, and
falling in love with the Easter lilies and the cherry blossoms and the weather and all of that stuff. So bring your friends and family from overseas, the big city of Vancouver, Toronto. Get them over here. Just correct you though, as again, we're saying that these stats are from the 7th. So this is 1 week into the month, not 10 days into the month.
Right.
So there you go.
Okay, so sales to listing ratio, this is 35.66. So this is in more buyer market territory. And we were previously in seller market territory. I can hear somebody talking behind you or something.
You know what? My partner's on her own Zoom call for business, and so she's in the other room. And unfortunately, I don't think I can get that door closed.
Okay.
I will try it. But yes, we have competing shows happening, folks.
Okay, so what we're seeing overall is our list to sale ratio is decreasing so far for this month. So I don't know. Somebody asked Trudeau once, what do you think about all these announcements on whatever with Trump? And he said one day, it's a typical Thursday.
Right.
Like the only thing we know right now is chaos. So listing or selling, all I can say is just, you're going to be moving across the market. You're going to be in the same market, whether or not you're buying or selling. So you just have to be flexible.
Yeah. I mean, the world is accelerating in general ways, and it's hard to stay on top of it and adapt to it. And there's so much change happening all at once. But, if you have an intention, whether that's to buy a home, sell a home, upgrade, downgrade, larger space, smaller space, you have to pursue that. You have to move forward with that. And you don't necessarily let the noise distract you from your intention. And if you have that intention, our job is to help you achieve it. And outside of that, the market will do what it will. We don't have control over that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is what it is, right? People buy and sell at all times because of life circumstance. They may not want to, they may not have to. They may just simply want to change in lifestyle, and that's
there's always people who are buying. There's always people who are selling. It's just a matter of, sometimes you do have to sharpen your pricing or be more, there's there's strategies in every market. We just need to be able to adapt and move and work in real time with what is existing in front of us at that very moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Suzanne, what has she got to tell us today?
Well, let's add her to the
Here
thing
I am.
here.
Anyways, I'm sorry I'm missing the show this morning, but just wanted to give you a quick rate update. We do have some variable rates as low as prime -1, depending on your down payment, which is great. And we've got fixed rates available, again, depending on your down payment, under 4%. So definitely interest rates are improving, which is great news. We've got a big day next week. April 16th is the next Bank of Canada rate update. So I look forward to providing you an update next Thursday. Enjoy the show today.
Awesome.
That was cool.
I'm trying to figure out which row she's in.
With the premium economy, I think not. But yeah, that was brave of her to do that from the plane. Good for her.
Everyone needs a noise canceling mic.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good. The background, you could tell she was on a plane, but it could dedefinitely hear her.
Okay,
so that was
important though. The April 16th is the next Bank of Canada, so that's next Wednesday. So we'll come and give you an update with what's happening. And I'm interested to see, because there's so much pros and cons going on with all the different announcements from Trump. So
yeah, it's going to be hard for the Bank of Canada probably to make any kind of decision with the ground shifting under your feet at every moment. But let's talk about something that also shifts over time, and that's color.
Okay.
Color shifts. How does
I
that
have a game
happen?
for you.
Yes. Wow. This is a game for me. Okay.
Pick that era.
This is why you told me not to look. Okay. Are these two eras or this? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it. Okay. Number one is the early 2000s, maybe up to 2010. Number 4 is something a little more recently, I would say, like in the last 10 years or so. Number 2, let's see if anybody else wants to chime in on this, if you're watching. Geez. Number 2, it's a hard one. I'm going to say that's the 90s, although it doesn't quite feel 90s to me. And number 3, that could actually be late. What are you doing there? Jane's dancing, folks. Okay, she's saying like 70s or 60s or something. How am I doing?
I'll show you.
Okay.
You actually got them all right.
Oh, 1950s.
1950. You know what? So it's interesting to me because, we're going through a very grayish phase the last decades. And I think we're finally starting to see some color now that we've gotten into the 2020s. But really, like, I remember looking at houses in the early 2000s thinking, I hated that color underneath, like right where.
Yeah, the browns, and sometimes you got the deep red character wall, like the show. People would put that in their bedroom, like one wall it was just a deep red, everything else was browns and so forth, and you had the very ornate granite countertops. Not ornate, but it was just very. We've gone to much more like cleaner single color countertops and a lot more just very basic. And I think people are craving color now, for sure.
It speaks to, though, like, you can be faddish in real estate And what
Oh,
happens is then your house becomes dated. So sometimes we walk into homes that are literally time capsules where we
mhm.
see the shagalicious red rug and we see the pattern wallpaper and all this stuff like you see in
Yeah,
the top left there for the
yeah,
1960s. It's so definitive of that era
it
that,
is.
10 years later, you're out of date.
It's also really fun though. Like, what I don't. How do you find that when like I love going into an old home that's actually a um. Who was that? Sorry, my partner is walking back and forth behind us. Um, so yeah, I love it when I come through a home that's actually, fits the era for the construction. It just feels so good to me,
I agree.
especially if it
Like
was, yeah,
what it does, it kind of gives you a glimpse as to what their lifestyle was like. I think that's where the interesting part comes, and you can see you go into the rec room and they have the leather bar with the studs in it. And, there's it's just a dry bar. They just put this thing up
yeah,
and the green rug or whatever, the red rug.
right.
I've seen places where the rug's gone up the wall. Like it's just crazy.
I would. Oh well, I was just in one the other day where the rug went up the wall. It was yeah. It was deep red rug going all the way, halfway up the wall, and I was like, what are you doing here? I guess the kids can just bounce off the walls and not hurt themselves. It's just like go play in the red room, kids. Um, so when you buy an old home, I've also been through homes where, let's say it was, oh man, tell me about this. Like, you don't get like sad for the house when you see a beautiful heritage 1912 built home that they've stucco exteriored, and it's all been updated in the 1980s with all kinds of 1980s cabinetry and so forth. And it just does not feel like any kind of character anymore.
Yeah, I actually, where was I? I was on Richardson the other day and I walked by a house right beside a
Yeah,
modern development. And it's true. Like you could see they had taken the stucco and put it right over the cedar. So when it had flaked off and you could see this beautiful cedar below and it was all
yeah,
gone. But I guess they did
yeah,
it for ease of, I don't know,
yeah.
maintenance.
Well, there's an argument for just protection and money saving, but then you do kind of diminish the value. It's like with cars, you can buy an immaculate original 1950s vehicle with all original parts, and people are going to be all over that. But if it's been modded and it's a bit of a rust bucket, not been cared for, and it has three different color quarter panels, that's the other side of it. So color. Let's go back to color.
Well,
Um,
let's look at what is happening now. So this
okay.
is this year's 2025 Sherwin. These are all from Sherwin-Williams, by the way. And you
Okay.
can go look at color through the decades, so that's kind of cool. But to me, it's still it's darker than I expected. I expected more white.
I mean, it seems so. I've been feeling like we're going to start getting pops of color because, again, we've been very black and white and very bland for the last little while. Very gray, let's call it. And these are very soft, soft colors that they've added. I mean, when I look at these, I think my favorite is probably that sort of the cloud. Is it called
Yeah.
rain cloud color? But it's really hard to say without seeing it actually on the house, and making sure that you've got the right combinations and so forth. Is these exterior colors they're talking, interior colors? Are they doing more like? I wouldn't ever suggest painting your house these tones this deep inside. You're just going to feel like you're living in a dark cave.
Well, here's what it looks like.
Okay.
So I think they're more accent walls.
Okay.
Yeah, and I noticed like the use of round, circular, like even the bed frame has a bit of a roundishness.
Circles are in, folks. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, one of the more
Interesting.
popular mirrors right now is that round mirror that's wider on the bottom, sort of, that I've seen.
Yeah,
This.
yeah, I've seen that. We were thinking of maybe getting one in our entranceway, and it's a place you could put your keys as well, because it's like the wider gives you a bit of a ledge, but that has yet to happen. Not a fan of a leaning mirror. That's kind of strange. Or is that one of those smart TV things? But we're talking color. I don't mind these. I think these look really nice and stylish. And they all seem to fit well together. When I saw them, can you go back to the prior slide?
Yeah. Yes, as you wish.
Thank you. Yeah, so as accent walls and used, not used liberally, I can see how this works really well. I just wouldn't. One of the things that I'm always finding is, especially homes that don't have a lot of windows or light, you really need to make sure that you have a really nice white. And there's so many, like there is no white paint. There's different tones of whitish paint, and the brighter and lighter is better for some homes. It's just, regardless of adding the color splashes you need to bring the light in.
I feel like we're going back to 1960s, which is the top left.
Yeah, it does have that kind of, well, okay, so if that's the case, then we're coming out of the 50s. So that doesn't make, so that's not
it's kind of a cross between the 50s and the 60s. I expected more orange in the 2020s one, but anyway.
Well, you know what? If you want to go out and become a designer and come out with your own. Okay. Well, folks, if you have any thoughts on these colors, like them, hate them, think you might be doing a reno and want to add them, give us your thoughts. We'd love to hear about it. I think,
and we also are connected with different designers, so interior and exterior. We actually repainted our whole house last year. It was red before. It was really like barn red, and we painted it a two-tone color because our house is wide and kind of like two level and wide. So we have like two blocks of colors, and we have so it was interesting when I went to the 2010, like the colors of our house actually are these colors. So the gray and the browny gray, and then the white. Yeah. So it's actually funny because Jane played that game with me, dropped that on me with pick the decade. But we play that game. I don't know about you, but I play that game every time I show a property. Because when I'm going through it and I'm looking at the updates, I'm thinking, when was this last updated? And you can often tell by the paint colors and the style choices, and plus of course what they've actually put in there, and that can be quite fun. But also, folks, if you are thinking of doing a reno, you do want to try to avoid going really stylish, really current with the trends. You want to just try to still work within the grain for the era of the house. I don't think that ever really is a way to lose out, even though the trend might be a certain color palette. If you actually go with a color palette from the days that house was built and do an homage to it, not doing full on, heavy duty colors, if that's what was the time, but something that gives you the hint of that. I think that can be a really good use of like a good balance. The other thing is, like, I noticed with you really like the mid-century modern look.
Really do.
As evidenced by your credenza behind you. Mm-hmm. And I really like neutral, comfy look.
Right.
So yeah, it's funny. Like I say use your own style, right?
True, but if you love mid-century and you're in a 1980s, a 1980s modern house could actually work, some of those vaulted ceilings and such, but you don't want to put something that's completely against that era, and you're not going to decorate that way. And you're probably going to try to find a home that matches your style.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we just are putting in a new fireplace because we had our 1980s inefficient, basically hole over which into which all the warm air went in the winter. So we're trying to modernize as well.
So an airtight stove insert kind of thing?
Mhm.
Okay, good. You wouldn't consider doing like a propane, you don't have...
It is propane, actually.
Oh, it is propane. Okay, so you're not out there chopping wood.
We were chopping wood, and it was so inefficient that we changed it. Yeah, we still have a wood stove in our home because we live in Machosen.
Yeah, you need that as a backup for sure. Okay, well, are we done here?
We're done. If you guys want to get in touch with us, how do they reach you, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm at, give me a call or send me a text. I'm at 250-360-6106. You can email info@andrewplank.com and check out the website, andrewplank.com, or our team website, realvibe.ca. That's realvibe.ca. And the Vibe Collective will be able to help you out.
Okay, and if you want to reach Jen Lowe, you can at 250-217-4925. Her email is jen@jenlowe.ca, and you can visit her on her website at jenlowe.ca. And if you want to reach me, I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. My number is 250-744-0775, and you can email me at jane@briarhillgroup.com, and we're on the web at briarhillgroup.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at realtyteacher_Remax_Victoria or Briar Hill Group. All right, you guys, we are live next Thursday. We're going to be talking about the rates and seeing what's happening with the announcement of the Bank of Canada. And don't forget, if you have a friend who may be interested, please share. You can find all of our episodes on each of our YouTube channels. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right. Thanks, Jane. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.